Good morning, everybody. Oh God, I'm losing track of time. Day 5, is it, of the Corona Diaries? I think it must be. This morning, just want to talk about the third part of this little mini 3-part series of videos. Gratitude, planning for the worst, and then the third thing, which I kind of put down to a lot of my positivity, is structure. But before I do, classic example of me not taking my own advice this morning and throughout last week. So me and my wife have had in the pipeline for some months basically taking out a new mortgage on our house. The old one came to an end, and we went to a mortgage broker. They found us a good deal, a better deal, and that mortgage kicks in today, the 1st of April. And the new mortgage is with Santander, the old mortgage is with Clydesdale. So last week, due to all this stress and all these problems that we're all going through financially at the minute, Anna said, bit of good news, I think that the final Clydesdale payment came out on the 1st of March, and then the Santander mortgage kicks in on the 1st of April, and then we're going to agree our first payment date, meaning that we thought the timing was ridiculously good. We thought we'd almost been able to skip a payment without having to approach these companies for the mortgage holiday that a lot of us are doing, and I am going to be doing moving forward. So last week we went so far down the road of not planning for the worst that the money that I normally put in the joint account for the mortgage, I'd put into my personal account. We're really happy about it. I think we spent some of the money on our food shop yesterday, and this morning, guess what? The Clydesdale mortgage came out. So through not planning for the worst, I genuinely feel as though I've lost about £1,000. Whereas if I'd have taken my own advice and I'd have actually planned for the worst in that situation, I certainly wouldn't be feeling as though I'd lost £1,000. I'd actually be feeling as though I was £1,000 up if we had got it right. But that is the beauty of that technique. Even if you think something good's going to happen, convince yourself it isn't until it does, and then you really feel as though you're winning. Okay, so perhaps maybe I should watch these videos back myself and stop preaching about it and start actually doing some of this stuff. So this morning, structure. Another, on the face of it, pretty boring subject. However, so important to implement structure within your life. Even if you think you're not a creature of habit, I have found that putting some rigid structure into every day really helps me kind of blossom, for lack of a better word. I don't know where blossom came from, but blossom's a good word. We're going to run with blossom. So what I mean by structure is be really disciplined in the way you set your day up, certainly Monday to Friday. To give you an idea of my ridiculous structure, I get up at I get up about 5 o'clock every morning, okay? I then spend the first hour and a half of my day catching up on what I call non-reactive work. So quotes, emails, looking into things, researching things, stuff that I don't really want to spend a disproportionate amount of time on during the day doing. So I do it when it's quiet, I'm on my own, and everyone's out of the way. I then wake my daughter up. We spend 15 minutes together. I then go to the gym. After the gym, I do a bit of meditation. After the meditation, I get into the office, normally about half an hour before the lads arrive. Have a little clean of the office. I prep my day. I then crack on with my day job. Now, this is where structure really starts to come into its own. If you've done all that prior to you getting to what you actually do, you will really feel the benefits of it. You'll be able to be creative. You'll be able to think outside the box. You'll be able to come up with new ideas because you've freed yourself of the burden of that stuff which normally throws a few spanners in the works during the day when you're trying to do the reactive stuff and the non-reactive stuff, okay? After work, I get home. I always make an effort to spend that next hour, 2 hours with my family. We have a bite to eat, we have a little play. I then read either a bedtime story every single night. After that, about an hour downstairs watching telly. I go upstairs, read my book for half an hour, go sleep. Now, a bit robotic, you might say. That underlying structure, that robotic underlying structure allows me to be myself. It allows me to free myself of the distractions and the issues that without that structure would inevitably creep up on me and end up rocking me, okay? So it's so important that you look into this and you start to add structure to your day. And when you do, again, a bit like planning for the worst, that's a negative thing to do. That's very pessimistic. I'm telling you, if you do that, you become really positive. I'm now telling you, absolutely nailed on. If you add structure into your day, the opposite happens. You don't become robotic. You become free. You become kind of charismatic. You can build on yourself because you're actually managing the issues which I believe are the ones that, again, blindside us in our day-to-day lives. A good example, I think, would be on holiday. I genuinely believe that one of the reasons we love our holidays so much is that it's structured. Okay, it is get up in the morning, eat breakfast, go to the pool, read the book, get drunk, get ready, get more drunk, eat food, get more drunk, go bed, repeat. But because we know what we're doing, it settles us. And it doesn't have to just be the good stuff. Take the bad stuff, put it into some kind of structure, and you'll find that you'll be settled, okay? Now, sadly, I can't find a quote on structure. So my new thing of always giving you a quote is already fell on its arse. However, I want to give you an example of what I mean by this, a visual example, yeah? You know those big towers that bakers make with loads of profiteroles on them, yeah? They're amazing looking things. They're called croquembouches, yeah? Croquembouches. That is a great example of how important structure is, because on the face of it, that's a really fun, really cool, really amazing looking thing. That whole thing would be on its arse if there wasn't a structure behind it. And that is today's lesson, and that is 8 minutes.